I feel like I should burst into laughter now, right? Isn't that the expectation? Are we ever going to get music?
I mean, So this is probably going to be like the logo and the color scheme and everything else where you're like, I'll pick it, as you did say around that exact same time, and then you'll just need to approve it, and then it becomes me picking. And
No. I was just saying, was that ever part of the plan?
If you want it to be, sure.
I'm just thinking maybe it should be yakety sax. You know the theme from...
Yes, I'm aware.
Yeah, you're aware? Yeah, I feel like maybe that would...
My introduction to it, though, is not one that would please you.
Oh, what is it? Okay, first of all... I want to hear all about this. Tell me what it is.
This is about 2003, 2004.
Okay.
I'm in, 8th grade. I'm over at a friend of mine's house, and this is early stages internet, but none of us were Bush supporters or supporters of the war.
Okay.
And so it was Yakety Yak, Bomb Iraq, as a parody on them being war hawks.
That's... Okay, Yakety Yak, Don't Talk Back, Yakety Yak, Bomb Iraq is different than Yakety Sax.
It was done to the exact same song, but... whatever. It doesn't really matter. This is a really weird way to start this episode.
But see, that's why Yakety Sax would make perfect sense, because it's the chaos. No, that's something else entirely. That's Looney Tunes.
I'm aware.
I think it's trademarked. Now we're going to get sued.
Me whistling it?
Isn't that always the fear? You can't say anything. Warner Brothers are bastards. I mean,
I'm not afraid of the Ellisons. I'm really not.
Yakety Sax is
Benny Hill. Yes,
Benny Hill, where they're running around in shenanigans.
Yes, I know.
Yeah, okay.
All you're asking for is really calliope music.
That's the first time I've ever heard somebody use the word calliope in a sentence in probably 35 years.
You're welcome.
And on that note, folks, this is what we've been waiting for.
Big Daddy is here to help.
Thank you so much, Big Daddy. Welcome back to First Watch Rewatch. Okay. Welcome back to First Watch Rewatch, the podcast where one of us, no, it's you, is seeing it for the first time.
And the other one already knows what's coming.
I'm Sarah, this time on the Rewatch.
And I'm Tom, otherwise known as Big Daddy, watching The Good Wife for the first time.
Today we're covering Season 1, Episodes 5 and 6, Crash, and...
Conjugal.
Thank you.
Jesus, Mary and Joseph. I mean, come on.
Nobody's going to have the context of any of this, and that's why it's going to be beautiful and perfect and exactly
why
the way
is
it
it
needs
that
to be.
Seemingly every time I'm on a mic with you, the upper areas of my cheeks start to hurt?
It's because you smile and you laugh because you like hanging out with me because I'm funny and I'm cute. That's why.
Sure, let's go with that.
That it's okay. But
I'll admit to funny. I will admit to funny.
Because you're not frowning, because it would
That is true.
appear.
You are certainly correct. I am not used to smiling this much.
Right.
I'm a serious bitch.
You are, Big Daddy. Disclaimer, I'm not calling Tom Big Daddy. I'm making reference to something else entirely. Okay, so let's talk about these two delightful episodes. Episode number 5 is entitled Crash. It is directed by Gloria Muzio, written by Ted Humphrey. Original air date is October 20th, 2009. And here is our summary. Alicia and Will represent 3 widows of train engineers who have been accused by the company that they, not the company, were responsible for their deaths in a train crash. So the engineers are responsible, not the widows of the engineers. Alicia and Will have 72 hours to find the smoking gun to prove that the company was responsible. On the home front, Alicia and her mother-in-law Jackie clash when Jackie goes against Alicia's wishes and takes the children to visit Peter in jail for his birthday. Okay. The other one, episode 6, Conjugal, I can say it, directed by Rod Holcomb and...
You're a big girl now.
Yes, and written by Angela Amato Velez, originally aired on November 3rd, 2009. Alicia and Will work on the appeal of a death row inmate accused of killing a police officer. Knowing that her client was convicted of the crime under Peter's regime as state's attorney, Alicia agrees to his request of a conjugal visit in order to obtain any information Peter may have regarding the original case. Okay, so in episode 5 in Crash, we have Martha Plimpton as a guest star. I don't know where most people know her from, but for me, she's from The Goonies. And this is also when we first hear that there is a third partner in the firm who is leaving, right?
Mm-hmm.
We
Which
talked
you did
about
tease the last time.
Right, and you were like, there's only 2, and I'm like, no, there's 3. I mean, they said in the first episode that there were 3, but yes, he's leaving, and so they're already talking about potentially what could be happening. All right. What stood out to you out of these 2 episodes, Tom? Give us your first watch reaction.
So I was looking for the show to define itself and start to take on an identity, give the characters some fleshing out, where it felt like they were more midstream instead of we were trying to get to know them. 5 is that episode.
Okay. And what is it about 5 that defines that for you?
I think they stopped trying to focus so much on the good wife aspects, the stuff with Peter, that they were able to focus more on the legal aspects, spend more time at the office, make it narrower in scope. Instead of having like 15 characters, we had pretty much 5 or 6. And the legal portions weren't as outrageous or egregious as they had been. You got a bit of a human interest story. You got these widows going on. You have this... I don't remember what the woman at the company's or the train company's position was, but she's in a extramarital affair and just had a baby with somebody else, even though she's married, and doesn't want that to come out. And so the amount of emotionality and pitting of stakes, I thought was a good elevation for where they needed to finally go with this show. And you narrowed it down to give us something meaningful actually coming out of these, instead of just, well, we're going to build things up and then we're going to like release the pressure way at the end because we have to finish this week. And so it doesn't feel like it's a fully fleshed story. This was the first inkling that, oh, okay, this can be something bigger. They can write better. They can be more succinct. The characters can somewhat have their own breathing room without having to be so crowded.
And so in terms of like the resolution of this case, because you had talked previously about how some of the other ones felt like Deus Ex Machina, right? So
yes,
big power coming in at the end to just wrap everything up in a tight bow. How did this one strike you?
Again, going back to, she had to choose between two sets of people. She could expose somebody's poor choices. To be fair, like they put themselves in that position. But the fact that she had to do it, and they had tried to play on her emotions not to do it, but also tried to take her down that path to begin with, like, it was a complicated, nuanced situation with a lot of human beings that I felt was deserved, because people had made poor decisions, and now that they had to basically pay the consequences of making those poor decisions. Whereas ultimately she did the right thing according to the law. Now, do I feel like her kid coming in and basically telling her what the ethical obligation as a lawyer is makes a whole lot of sense? No, like, she should have known it's not much of a choice. You have to do what's in the best interest of your client, or you can be disbarred. So,
right.
Yeah. But the fact that she was put in this crosshair choice between something she didn't want to do and something she had to do, it made it a good emotional resonance of stakes and actual consequences for once. That's the thing that I think has been missing somewhat in all of this, is it doesn't feel like there's really... everything gets solved, it gets neatly wrapped, everything ends pretty confined to that one episode. This one felt like it lingered, and there was some emotional damage and trauma, which is what being a lawyer is about. That's why we separate ourselves from our clients.
Is it... Mm-hmm. Do you think it's possible that maybe in this episode that the villains feel a little bit more obvious than, like, I don't know, rapist or kid mistakenly done? Like, this is an actual crime. Like, the crime happened, the company's trying to deviate away from it, and they're making up some bullshit. But the employee who knows that things were wrong...
I don't think this is as clear a black and white as you're making it out to be right now.
No, that's not what I mean. Is it... maybe I don't know how to explain what I'm thinking. So to me, it's very nuanced. Like, Martha Plimpton's character stands out to me a lot as being, she is portraying the villain, but she is herself is not necessarily a villain. I'm saying when we first meet her, right? She's very standoffish.
I mean, she's pulling some tactics that she can't really do. Like ending the deposition in the middle, which I know it's a TV tactic and it happens all the fucking time. Like, Suits is notorious for this, where it's just like, this deposition is over, and then they walk out. You can't do that. She's
pretending that she's having contractions.
At least that's more in the realm of possibility, where like medical emergency or some bullshit like that. But still,
that's what she said, and we know that she's full of it, right? And so that she's sort of coming in as this figure who's like, we're going to sweep this under the rug, and we don't necessarily like her. But then the woman who is having the affair, who can give us the information that the company has been negligent and knew what was happening, she has the inside information. And she says, I can't tell you what's going on, but I need you to look into stuff. Unfortunately, them looking into stuff then exposes that this woman who's the whistleblower is also having an affair and is kind of doing some, I don't know if it's illegal, right? But she's doing some things that are unethical, right? Just on a basic human level, right? Maybe not necessarily on a company level. So
I don't know if she's violating any professional ethics by what she's doing.
Personal ethics. Okay. Isn't that what I said?
No, you just kind of generalized it, and I wanted to differentiate between the two, because we're talking about like professional ethics for lawyers and separating that out between... See, that's where I would say it's not an ethics thing. It's more of a morality.
Well, but she works for the company and she has information about the company, so she would be a whistleblower, but she doesn't want to be the whistleblower because her doing that would expose her unethical personal behavior by having this affair and having a child, right? Isn't that what's going on?
Yes. But I also want to, maybe this is my own interpretation, but basically how I have it in my head, the only two people that knew that there was anything going on are the engineer who she's having the affair with and her.
Mm-hmm.
And so the company's negligence is just by happenstance of him, but the only way we know about it is because of her. Like, he did an excellent job at covering his tracks. And I don't blame the company for not knowing and therefore trying to do its due diligence and trying to protect against a lawsuit. And I don't have a problem with lawyers doing their job. That's what they're supposed to do. Although,
right.
Again, you can't really just pull out of a deposition, especially if the camera was on filming. Like, she's standing, hovering over the client. They would have gotten that on camera. You show that to the judge of this, medical emergency, and her poor acting job. There's no way that
she's a great actress. Shut up.
I'm sure she's a very fine actress in reality. What I'm saying is her
she was really good at playing a character who's a bad actress.
Yes.
Yes.
But I don't blame anybody here except the engineer for the negligence, and then by extension the company, because they have to wear the liability of that.
He's the representative of the company essentially at that point.
Yes and no, but his liability transfers to them. They could turn around and sue him individually, but I don't know how much that's gonna really.
Well, they'd fucking fire him at least. Right?
Well, yeah,
maybe.
Naturally. He's gone. He's basically blackballed. Like, his career's over. All that good jazz. And
now he can't pay for that baby.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Wife doesn't have a girlfriend. Lady doesn't have a job. How many other kids does she have? It's 3 total.
I don't know. I mean, it's not a great situation, but you have to do what's in the interest of your client. She made the right call.
She did. And I think that that's what is interesting, is because at the beginning it is set up that the company is bad because these widows are going to be denied benefits because they're trying to make their husbands take the blame when there's other reasons. But we already know as the audience by the way they are framing it, even though we don't know that there's this other component, that company is bad, right? And so then this other woman comes up and then she's actually ends up taking the blame, and the company is not as bad as we thought. They're just not magnanimous, right? But it completely shifts things, but it does put all of these things in more stark relief with all of those extra gray areas, right? Where this woman is trying to do the right thing, but she has to essentially fall on her own sword in order to do so. And what does she say to Alicia? Like, you can't do this to me because I have kids and a husband and they're not at fault. And Alicia's just like, not my problem. She says to her too, I thought you would be different, right? That you would be a different person because you had been.
Yes. She tries to make her situation relatable, that there's somehow like we've been wronged. I'm sorry. That's A, manipulative, and B, your situations are completely unalike because you were the one having the affair. Your husband is closer to Alicia than you are.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
So I do want to make the caveat here, and I've said this now multiple times, that she did the right thing by doing right by her client. There are areas you don't go to just because it's in the best interest of your client. Covering up a crime. Committing another crime, which I guess covering up is a crime in itself, but I'm trying to differentiate. Like, there are things that you don't go to, but when it's the given choice between putting a witness on the stand that can prove your case and help your client versus not, just because you have some moral hesitancy, it's no contest.
Right. I agree.
She would have been sued. She would have been tossed out by, I guess in Wisconsin it's called the, is it the Office of Lawyer Regulation? I think that's what it is, OLR. But essentially it's the governing body that dictates anytime there's a lawyer complaint, that's who you go to complain that your lawyer dicked you over, and then they send sanctions or suspensions or any sorts of things. There are a few things that get you automatically disbarred. This is not one of them, but it gets pretty damn close.
Okay, so what are some examples of things that automatically get you disbarred?
Taking money from your trust account without notifying your client is like immediate disbarment.
Okay.
Not notifying your client of settlement agreements timely. Or just not being in communication with your client pretty much at all. Like if you go on a vacation for a month and you're just gone, like you're off the face of the planet and you miss a filing deadline or something else, like that's pretty bad. I don't know if it's automatic, but like you'd be probably suspended minimally. But yeah, the trust account thing is the number one thing that any lawyer will tell you. Automatic disbarment. Like you start taking and dipping your own funds with the trust account with client funds, you are screwed.
Okay, good to know. But and then also committing like the illegal activity, like committing a crime in order to assist or covering up and things like that as well.
Basically anything that Michael Cohen or Rudy Giuliani did to get their disbarments are pretty automatic. And the reason I have to use them is because not many other people have been convicted of such stuff.
I mean,
they are the lead examples because of their egregious behavior. And not just for being outside Four Seasons Total Landscaping.
I mean, oh, poor Rudy Giuliani, America's mayor.
who married his first cousin like twice.
Wait, is it the same person twice or two?
No, I think two different first cousins.
Is he from Alabama? Sorry, Alabama. That's an insult to you. I apologize. He's okay. Let's move on. Okay, what about our other episode?
Both of these felt like certain legal drama movies. So Big Bad Insurance Company is taking a bit... feels very Aaron Brockovich-like.
It does,
And then Murderer on Death Row, you have to try and get the conviction reversed. Feels very Just Mercy-like. And so...
And that big old episode that we watched on... I mean, he's not going to execution, but the capital punishment episode a little bit.
Sure.
And yes, Just Mercy for sure.
So you're trying to... these somewhat self-contained stories, and yes, like reversing a conviction is like a multi-year process, and they condensed it down to one episode in a few weeks.
Right.
That doesn't happen. So I understand that there's a little bit condensed here for the sake of entertainment and whatnot. Fine. But I felt like, again, there was some real stakes. I thought both of these worked well in concert. I'm glad that it was sandwiched together like this, where I felt like we had a true jumping off point. We were focusing more on the legal aspects as opposed to all the peripheral kind of junk. Now, they brought in the periphery with involving Peter into the larger plot of the Conjugal and whatever else. And even in 5, they had kind of a very narrow outside force with her bringing the kids to him to visit him for the first time without her permission, which I think very small, but you kind of understood even further the deterioration of that relationship and how fraught that actually is. So I thought both of these were actually written very well, which has been my number one criticism of most of these episodes. Additionally, while we didn't get a lot of Diane, we got a lot of Alicia, we got a lot of Will, and we got a lot of them together. So much so that Peter got jealous, which was interesting. Carrie was starting to grow on me a little.
In what way?
Just, he seemed less like he needed to be noticed.
That he was like doing a job.
Yes, that he was just trying to work and be a part of the team.
Well, right, when he's walking around with Calinda, right? So this is weird because in this episode we've got Calinda who goes and like visits Peter, and like Alicia's pissed off, like, do not visit my husband in jail, by the way. She's like, this is weird. This feels weird. And even though Calinda says, yeah, we used to work together, and clearly
it
Calinda
crosses some
Calinda
boundaries.
is like, I'm here to help with this case, which she originally had written off, right? Because she's kind of brought to task where they're doing this racial profiling, right? Where they're saying that white people can't differentiate between black faces, and black people can't differentiate between white faces. And Calinda's like, this is BS. And then they test her and she fails spectacularly. So she clearly is doing,
to be fair, I also
inventory.
failed spectacularly because I
With the white
tried.
faces? Yeah.
I think with both.
With both, yeah. Yeah.
Because you're just shown these profile shots of like 8 people, and it's not like you had enough time to really realize them. I don't know. It was a weird way of presenting it. I think there is something to that. Like, I'm not going to dismiss it out of hand. But I need to bring up 2 small things here, side notes. We'll take a small tangent here for a second.
Okay.
You said that you are, like, quite attracted to Calinda. Like, to the level of distraction.
A little bit,
does nothing for me. Which I find interesting. But I'm going to confess this because you mentioned it last time and I didn't find a spot to insert this, but just for the record, does nothing for me.
It might be because it's...
It doesn't really matter. I mean,
no, but I think part of
own.
it is because she feels so mysterious to me. And so she is not obvious.
You are welcome to your crushes. It
doesn't
matter to me. I'm just stating where my attractions lie. Now, this is where it leads to me to my second part. This is now the second episode out of 6 that we've tried to see Carrie, I guess maybe third, because there's a little bit of a hint of it in the pilot with, why am I forgetting her name from Community? Doesn't matter. Jillian Jacobs.
She's yeah.
But he's like trying to be a little bit flirty and whatever else with her in the initial one. Then, in our last episode, he was flirty with the state's attorney, who was the younger woman, and like taking them to lunch and, whatever. And now he's trying to do that with Calinda here too, which I find to be a little endearing. But I also don't think of this dude as an operator. Like, he reminds me of... I'm trying to think of the right people. He reminds me of the people who thought they were smooth, thought they were operators, but were anything but, and they were just dorks who usually fell flat on their face. Somehow he's having this level of success with women that I don't quite understand. It's probably why I've been single most of my life, because he's willing to take chances that I didn't. And he's a bit of a dork. And, I mean, I'm clearly a dork. And
You're saying that Carrie is successful. Is that what you just said?
Somewhat, yeah.
No, I do not see him as successful at all. I think he's a little cutie patootie. Like, he's cute, but he's a dork for sure. And here's why. Because when he's engaging with Calinda and she's like, hey, can you go do this, this, and this? She's clearly manipulating him to get him to do what she wants because it's going to benefit her. And he's just like, oh, he thinks that she's interested because he's a dork.
No.
And no, listen. And then he's like, if I do this, you're going to give me information, right? You're going to give me flirty information about you personally. And he's like, so I completed that. So now I need the information. She's like, oh, gotta go.
All right. This is us reading the rom-com completely differently. Because at the rom-com, and this is frankly true just in normal life, but men are more attracted to women initially than women are attracted to men.
Sure.
And usually it's men pursuing and pushing past the initial few no's, which I think is part of the reason why the current climate of one no is more than enough, and then we have to stop. And so then a lot of this behavior where you're trying to push past it, and it's now seen as harassment, is actually complicating this narrative. But I think he understands that she's a little bit hesitant, but he's going to charm her with his good-natured, and he's willing to play this game and bat his eyes and do these other stuff. I don't think he thinks she's into it yet, but I think he thinks he can make her interested because he thinks he's smooth.
Okay, but you said he's successful, and I'm saying there is not yet evidence of success because she clearly...
Okay, if success... What exactly defines success here?
He does not get, by the end of this episode, get what he wants, which is for her to tell him personal information because he says, okay, you got to tell me this stuff. And she's like, no, I got to go. And he's just like, what?
Okay.
So it's like the emotional friendship blue balls. Like he doesn't get what he wants.
See, I don't see it that way. I think it's him
planting
a lot of seeds. Same with the other state's attorney where I'm going to flirt today and we're going to let this grow for a bit. And to quote Seth Rogen from 40-Year-Old Virgin, you got to wait for it to grow into a plant and then you fuck the plant.
Can I admit something?
I don't know. You're live on air, so.
Nobody's listening this far. Okay. I can say almost whatever I want. Seth Rogen's character in 40-Year-Old Virgin is the only time that Seth Rogen has ever been funny or attractive.
Okay.
That guy could get it. Not Seth Rogen in any other iteration ever at any time. And watching him do a little dance in order to throw himself into the tub with Elizabeth Banks is awesome. And when they're playing video games, but I can't repeat what they say when they're playing the video games.
I mean,
because it would be offensive.
I really don't think it's nearly that offensive, but okay.
I'm not going to say it.
Fine, whatever. If we ever cover that movie on Gmode, I'm going right for it.
Oh.
The same as when I quoted lines from Blazing Saddles.
Oh man, I really like that movie. Like, I'm kind of embarrassed how much I like that movie.
40-Year-Old Virgin or Blazing Saddles?
Yeah. No, 40-Year-Old Virgin. Blazing Saddles, I have no problem saying.
40-Year-Old Virgin is a very personally great movie. Like, it has a lot of personal significance to me.
Okay.
From growing up and watching it in high school, and kind of like Anchorman, kind of like Talladega Nights. They have certain resonance. Forgetting Sarah Marshall. I saw them at a strange time in my life.
Okay. Got it.
So, moving on.
Got it.
Yes.
Yes.
I think he's planting seeds, and I don't think, especially with some of the looks she gave him, that it's going unreciprocated completely. I just thought it was interesting that they put those two characters together.
Okay. I mean, I think I agree. So I think that I originally liked that interaction because I was like, this is not what I expected. But my read on it this time was, she's completely... This is, again, I think I had your reaction the first time that I watched it. And this time I'm just like, no, she's not interested. But it could also be that I'm highly defensive and I would just be like, ew, gross.
You also have the burden of knowing what comes after, so...
Not... Tom, what have we learned about my brain? How much information am I retaining? I may or may not remember what actually happens in the future.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I guess we'll find out.
We will find out. Okay, so, but you didn't feel necessarily any better about Calinda as a person. I mean, what about her?
I find her so cold.
Okay.
Like, there's no warmth. There's nothing to relate to.
Okay.
She feels stoic. And that's not anything I can really connect to.
Do you mean stoic, or do you mean, like, aloof?
Yes.
Both. ¿Por qué no los dos?
Sure. I know at least a little bit of Spanish to understand what that meant. 4 years of Spanish at least allows me to occasionally recognize some words. But yes, she is so emotionally removed from most of the show, with the exception where she goes to visit Peter in prison.
So tell me what you thought of her interaction with Peter in that scene.
I didn't really have one.
Okay. So you're just like, great, she's showing up. They used to work together.
I mean, I know what they're trying to drop as far as breadcrumbs.
Which is, what do you
And
think?
there's supposedly... I think there's a way that they're attempting to redeem Peter enough so that when the other shoe drops from his case or his other lawyer or, any of the other million things that could go on with him yet, that it feels much more earth-shattering, because we're supposed to start getting this picture where he's assisting, he's committed to Alicia, he's jealous, that he's not really the bad guy that is in prison, but rather he's somebody that could be redeemed, so that when they pull the rug out from under us, it will have that much more impact.
Okay. So, do you think that... Well... So, Alicia is visiting Peter, not for I don't think it's during the conjugal visit, but he is upset that she's been spending so much time with Will, and she says the irony of this situation is pretty ridiculous, and they kind of laugh and chuckle because he's expressing some jealousy that she's spending time with another man. And then when she finds out that Calinda has visited Peter, and she says, absolutely do not, you're crossing a line, do not visit my husband. And I'm like, well, anybody can visit your husband. You don't have to, he's an inmate,
Yeah, but it's that professional relationship, because of any
Sure.
of the characters, maybe with the exception of Will, I don't think she's spent as much time with anyone during the course of the show as she has with Calinda.
Sure. So then, do you think it's jealousy, or she thinks that it's professional boundary? Like, why are you with my husband in the same way that, like...
It could be
Peter...
both.
Okay.
Like, I'm leaving open the possibility. I didn't get a good read on which one it was. I mean, I could see possible seeds of jealousy, but there's not enough leading indicators for me to be able to say the crumbs are clearly leading in this direction.
Well, right. And I think the only... Because it kind of parallels Peter being upset about her spending time with Will, which he doesn't... There's nothing going on with her and Will, right? I mean, I think we want there to be something, but there's not. So, but then the conjugal visit is really awkward. And he sleeps on the floor, which is kind of shocking, right? Like, she doesn't even let him sleep on the bed. Like, he gets to go have a shower for the first time in months, like, by himself. But she makes him sleep on the floor? Their marriage is over, don't you think? It's bad.
I mean, I'm not the one of the two of us that's been married before. I will defer to you a bit on this one.
Okay. Conjugal visits, does anybody who's married get conjugal visits if they're in jail long enough? I actually don't know how this works.
That I don't know. I'm not nearly as adept with the criminal justice system for what is or isn't allowed for conjugal visits. I think it is only for married individuals. I don't think you can just, like, request.
No, I understand that. But I'm like, is it no matter what you're in for or how long you're in for, if you're like, oh, I'm going to be here.
So this is going to be maybe a little more off the wall and meandering, but the prison system in Wisconsin has minimum security, like medium security, maximum security, and then supermax.
Okay.
So minimum security, I don't think there's going to be much of an issue. Moderate or medium security, I still don't think there's going to be, but that's like, so the minimal or the minimal security kind of thing is like work detail and whatever else. And I can't think of, it's probably like white collar or very minor crimes, nothing violent likely in those. Moderate security, probably still not violent, but you're probably getting into the incidentals like manslaughter would be my guess. Again, this is without like too much to fall back on. This is a question for Dana, not for me. Maximum security is definitely for violent offenders. So this is your rapists, your murderers, your, whatever. That is very confined, very limited time out amongst other people. But that's what most people think of when they think of prison systems, is the maximum security. Supermax here, I'm still waiting for the Eighth Amendment challenge for cruel and unusual punishment, because it's 23 hours of solitary confinement. You get 1 hour a day outside your cell. You really don't get to be in contact with anybody, and that's your sentence. And that's for the people who murder people in prison.
Okay.
So the guy that killed Jeffrey Dahmer in prison wound up in Supermax. And there's only one Supermax prison. And nobody goes there. That is like Azkaban.
Okay.
So I don't know if that answers your question. I'm trying the best that I can to recall what Dana has basically passed to me over the years about Wisconsin criminal justice. I have to assume a lot of the prison system is spent like that, with maybe the exception that not every state has a supermax.
Okay. That is very meandering. That didn't answer my question at all, but that's okay.
I tried to give you what knowledge I had of the topic without consulting Google in the middle of the show.
Right. Exactly.
Or Claude or whatever we're using these days.
Right.
Gemini.
That's me, because I just had my birthday.
I'm a Cancer. But that's news to no one.
No, that's, yeah. Your birthday's coming up.
Is it?
Isn't it?
I don't know. I don't have a birthday.
Shut up. Yeah, you do.
Nope.
Yeah, you do. I know when it is, too. Okay. Yep.
Oh, you do now?
Yep.
Well, we won't reveal it on the pod, but...
No.
I'll let you guess afterward.
No, yep. Got it.
Okay, hosts.
I'm like, why aren't you continuing the show?
I'm just like, are you in your phone? What are you doing?
I'm just like, why aren't you moving on?
You're letting me go on this diatribe about minimum, maximum security prisons, supermax, and all this other stuff, and you're just like,
nobody's listening to the show. Okay. So, in terms of, do you have predictions going forward? You said that already that you think that the seeds are there for Peter to be redeemed. You'd already previously said you think he's going to get killed. Do you think that that's still going to be the case?
Yes.
Or is it more... Okay. So, they try to redeem him, but then he's going to die.
Yeah.
Okay.
There will be a shoe drop where, something comes out that will spoil his reputation, and then he'll, get killed mysteriously, and then it'll be like this other mystery that's outside of the parameters of this show for a minute, you know?
Okay. Any other prediction?
Well, I already said Alicia and Will are going to doink because they are. Like, even they started to recognize...
I gotta go home! Can't be alone with you in the office.
Let's get it on.
But this...
let's get it on.
This is your fault. The dead air is your fault.
Healing, baby.
Shut up. Okay, this is also in these 2 episodes. I can't remember which one. I think it's number 5. There's talk of the firm is going to be losing a member, right?
Yes.
And this third person that we've never met. Correct. And okay, how are things going to get broken up? And Diane,
I don't know. There isn't a lot there yet. I mean, even the plot line or the storyline with this missing partner or replacement partner that he's going to retire or whatever else. Like, I feel like that was a little bit of a MacGuffin to let us know that Diane is a sexual person.
Right. I was going to say, that's the whole thing, is we think she's interviewing somebody for a position. It's just the position is under her. Right?
Much like every woman in this show has terrible taste in men.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. 100%. So, we don't feel any type of way about Diane having sex because she's not a human yet.
Yeah, like, it's not a person I really want to think that long and hard about having sex.
What's really funny is on Wednesday, I just went and saw The Birdcage in theaters, took Keely.
Yeah.
And I had seen it originally in theaters, but Christine Baranski is in it as the egg donor. Not the sperm donor, but the egg donor. And she's adorable, and I really like her a lot.
I mean,
as an actress.
I think she is a wonderful actress who's had a very steady career, particularly in television, but it's hard not to see her as Leonard Hofstadter's mom. And at that point, she's just kind of asexual to me.
Fair enough. Okay. Fair enough. Out of the 2 cases, which one was more interesting to you? Train disaster or wrong conviction for murder?
I think for most people it's the latter, but I'm going to go with the former. I think that the train situation, because I've seen a lot of cases or read a lot of cases, I guess, in law school that seem kind of ripped from these pages a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So the wrongful conviction, I think, again, being a law student, you see how egregious the conviction rate of some of these things are.
Yeah. So, I think so.
Yeah. I mean, there's a reason we have an Innocence Project, because...
Right.
If I had my druthers, and this is going to go political for the first time really in this second season, in a way we did a lot in the first season. I think I said this on the death penalty episode that we covered for the West Wing, but I am a strong opponent against it.
Right.
Just for the record.
I remember reading... I'm not going to be able to tell you the author. It would be wrong. But essentially, someone spending time with people who are on death row and witnessing what actually happens when they are executed and I want to say the article, was it from like the 70s or the 80s? I can't remember.
Could be.
But very famous, and essentially exposed, I guess, the cruelty or maybe the barbarity of capital punishment in a way that
Right.
maybe the public hadn't had access to before. And yeah, I mean, I guess I'll say I don't believe in capital punishment either, except under one extreme circumstance. And I think, and this is just me saying my own feelings out loud, and I don't get to have any influence on anything, but like people who commit sexual violence against children, those are the only people that I would feel might be justified. Probably not even then, because I think it goes against my moral sensibilities, but that's the only time I feel like somebody could convince me like it needs to be done. Yeah.
It goes against my implicit moral code.
Yeah.
But I
That
understand
makes sense.
where that feeling comes from, because I think that is, more than anything, the one thing that animates people the most.
Mm-hmm.
Murder your husband, poison him, fine.
Right.
But you hurt a child, or you hurt a dog, I guess, even in these days. And,
Yeah.
like, bitch gotta go.
Well, and that's why child predators are often killed in prison, right?
Yes, I
because
know.
even other criminals find that to be abhorrent. They're like,
Yes.
yeah.
Agreed. Like, it is the crime that most people can't understand.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think, in a way, most people can put themselves in the shoes of somebody who vehicular homicide. You know, you run a red light and you're not intentionally. They can't necessarily put themselves always in drunk driver kills young kid kind of thing. That's a little bit difficult. But the other one is just sexual violence of minors.
Right.
It's because so many people think of it beyond the pale, and in my opinion, it is partnered with an illness. Like, that's not to excuse it in any way. The consequences of your actions are thus. Like, what you're doing and acting upon an illness is still problematic. But I see it as an illness as opposed to anything else. And one that needs a lot better understanding and treatment. But that doesn't mean that you can go back out. Again, my definition of justice is prevention of things. Never put them around children again.
Right. There needs to be some sort of intervention. And I think that the idea that capital punishment is a deterrent
Correct.
is pretty much bullshit. Like,
Yeah,
that is not...
I think there's more than enough evidence to say that it's not.
Right.
And to me, the other part of it that holds out from where that was, it is... No punishment is reversible, but it is the ultimate punishment that cannot be reversed.
That is true. That is true. Right? Oops, we wrongly convicted you. Now we're letting you out of prison. You've been in prison for 20 years. Oops, our bad. Oh,
Like,
we
you can't give the
executed
20
you.
years back. I get that. But you really can't give anyone their life back.
True. Well, and Keeley says this, like, so emphatically. It is not okay to kill people because no matter who they are, even monsters deserve to be alive, and just taking away someone's life is the most egregious thing. And this is exactly what we talked about in the death penalty episode on The West Wing, right? That like, human life is the most precious thing. And so then turning that into something that is done by the state outside of war is unacceptable. And
well, even in the confines of war, there are things that, you know, from an international law standpoint,
Absolutely.
violate certain things,
Yeah.
certain tenets. Like, we don't want to excuse everything.
Correct.
Gotta believe in that new world order that we're trying to get rid of, apparently.
Okay.
But moving on, we have about
Yes.
5 minutes left in this hour.
Yes. So any, like, MVP stuff, like character or scene or takeaway or
Again, I think Carrie was really growing on me in this. Will continues to be probably my favorite singular character.
Okay.
The mother-in-law is doing herself no favors in my eyes, but that's rather intentional. Like, that's a choice.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, she's a stock character.
Yeah. Outside of that, nobody really did anything. Like, Calinda's the same as she was. Alicia's the same as she was. The widow, or I guess the wife of the guy on death row, she deserves an MVP too for handing out manipulating photographs to both Alicia and Carrie.
Yeah, to get them to...
And then dropping the guys immediately when they're like, yeah, you did this. Well, you're here, or are you not?
Yeah, she fully fessed up to it. Like, absolutely. Okay. So then that more or less wraps it up. My final question for you, because we kind of agreed, or you stated last time, that you probably wouldn't really want to keep watching this if you didn't have to, or that you would have already progressed beyond, like, you would have fed
right
more. How are you feeling? Slightly better?
So I keep saying, and trying to paraphrase a quote from Mike Shore, who was a co-writer on The Office, wrote The Good Place, wrote Parks and Recreation. He's been a producer of a ton of different shows. He was an EP on Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Big TV writer. Mm-hmm. His thought is always you need 11 episodes before you actually find the identity of the show. We're through episode 6. Mm-hmm. When I said I started to get invested on 5 and 6, I hope that continues, because I felt like that was a bit of a sea change where as a viewer I felt more connection, more brought in, more stakes that gave me something to kind of work with, bring me into the story. And so I would say yes, I'm in, based on where we have been from 1 and 2, then 3 and 4, and now 5 and 6. Like, I think there's a big gap between where I was at last time and where I'm at now.
So then you talk about there were big enough stakes. Are you talking about there's big enough stakes just for the individual cases of the week, or with our overall character, our main characters?
I think it's increasing. Diane has some more personal stakes. We've seen her get into some difficult personal situations. I think Calinda doing work on the side that she can't really talk to Alicia about. That's something else. Will getting closer to Alicia, that's raising the stakes on that relationship. Alicia and Peter, that seems like it's continuing to bubble up. Alicia and her mother-in-law, that continues to bubble. So I think everybody has got these storylines where it continues to build individual pressure that is going to release in certain moments. I doubt that they will all accumulate at the end of like the season, like it does in some shows. But we're headed in a direction where each character's relationship to somebody else seemingly has started to develop its own stakes within it. And that's where it feels like it's more imperative to watch whatever's next.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, and because it's becoming easier for us to check back in with the characters and not have to, like, revisit everything that has gone before, right? So it's more in medias res, and we get, okay, here's how the characters are basically going to function. And
that's why I started with saying 5 was kind of like a jumping in point.
Yeah, okay. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, well, I think that about wraps it up for this week. Next time we are covering... Well, here's a question, actually. I was going to say we're going to cover episodes 7 and 8. Would you be interested in doing 3 episodes at a time for the remainder of this season?
Are you going to be okay with that? So right now we're at 6. I think, what is the episode total on this? 23?
Mm-hmm.
So that leaves us 17. So divided by 3, we'd be covering 2 for our last one. But, I mean, I don't see too many problems with it.
I think that what we're... At least with this show, it doesn't have necessarily the same sort of like deep, intense
Sure.
philosophizing that we had on the West Wing, and that we might benefit from going through this a little bit quicker. We had said, 2 episodes, because we thought there were going to be 3 of us talking. And so maybe it would help, and we could
let's try it and see where we
see what happens.
That's fine. Yeah.
Okay.
We can try it and see where it ends up. So then we'll cover 7, 8, 9?
7, 8, 9, yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. Awesome.
One last thing before we end this, because I know you were going into your repertoire, but I sent you a message and you never responded to it over the weekend. But David Paymer.
Oh, yeah. Yes, I love him. Oh, and we noticed, too, we had a judge come back around in these 2.
He's the first one.
Yeah, which is
Paymer.
That's what I'm saying, is he came back, and love
our first
him.
Prosecutor coming back around again.
Matan, or whatever his name is. He's a poop face. I want to...
Honestly, I feel like she gets the best of him every time, so I really don't care.
He's kind of a jobber. It's a wrestling term for somebody who's set up to lose every single time.
I don't think he's... Well, I guess in the writing he's set up to lose, but I just don't think he's very effective at his job.
Right, and this is the same job that he's had for a long time. He feels just cocky.
He's a little Peter Principle here.
Yeah.
He's risen to the level of his incompetence.
Okay. I like that phrase. Okay. So then next week we
You've never heard the Peter Principle before?
I have heard it before, and the wheels are turning. You got to cut me some slack with this disaster.
I've never understood that phrasing, because how do you cut slack? If you cut, there's no longer any...
They slack. Wait,
it's just a gap. It's a space. Give slack. Cut me a break. I think it's a mixed metaphor.
I'm going to have to look this up off air.
Yeah. Use the word etymology. It's your friend.
Etymology.
Yeah. It means the origin of something. So I often look up word and phrase origins, just for my own edification.
Were you...
This is now SAT word.
Were you giving the definition of etymology to me or to our
Damn right
audience?
I was.
To me.
Yeah.
To me. You think that I don't understand what etymology is?
You can't handle the definition. So we're going to be covering 7, 8, and 9.
Yeah, go ahead and close out the show, Tom, since you're so awesome.
I'm Big Daddy.
I am nonplussed. And thanks for listening, and we will see you next time.
Adjourned.
Adjourned.